There is money with your name on it, up to $1,500, sometimes more, waiting for renters and homeowners over 65 right now in 2026. A brand new housing law just changed the rules, and most seniors will never claim a single dollar of it. Stay with me until number 6, because that is the one nearly everyone gets completely backwards. Number 1. The property tax and rent rebate that pays up to $1,000. Start with Pennsylvania, because it is the clearest example of a program that exists in some form in more than 20 states. Pennsylvania runs what is called the property tax and rent rebate. If you are 65 or older, a widow or widower 50 or older, or an adult with a disability, and your household income is $48,110 or less, the state sends you a check. The standard rebate reaches $1,000 for the lowest incomes, and there is a supplemental rebate on top of that, worth roughly $190 to $500 more. That is up to $1,500 in a single year for rent or property taxes you already paid. Here is the mechanic. The rebate is based on what you paid last year, either your property tax bill or, if you rent, a portion of your rent, because your landlord builds property tax right into what you pay. You file one form, the PA 1000. That is it. Here is the mistake that costs people the entire check. They assume the deadline does not really matter, and they wait. For 2026, the deadline to apply is December 31st. Miss it, and the money is gone. You do not get to claim it next year. So the action step is simple. If you live in Pennsylvania, request the PA 1000 now. If you live anywhere else, search your state's name plus the words property tax rebate for seniors, because your state very likely runs its own version, with its own check sitting there waiting. Number 2. The brand new federal housing law that pays to fix your home. This is the lawmaking headlines. On July 11, 2026, the 21st Century Road to Housing Act was signed into law, the biggest housing reform in at least 30 years. Buried inside it is a provision almost no news anchor mentioned, and it is aimed squarely at homeowners over 65. It is called the Whole Home Repairs Program. It authorizes grants and forgivable loans to help lower-income seniors make safety and functional repairs. A new roof, a furnace, a wheelchair ramp, grab bars, fixing a hazard that would otherwise force you out of your own home. Forgivable means you may never pay it back. The entire point of the program is to let older Americans stay in the house they already own, instead of being pushed into assisted living they cannot afford. Here is the mechanic that trips people up. This is a pilot program, which means the money runs through your state, your county, or a tribal housing office, not one single national website. So people hear the words federal law and sit at home waiting for a check that is never coming, because you have to go find this one locally. The typical mistake is assuming you earn too much or your house is worth too much to qualify. These repair programs target the house, not your bank account, and inherited homes and manufactured homes count too. So this week, call your county or state housing authority and ask one question. Do you have a whole home repair or home modification grant for seniors? That single phone call can be worth thousands of dollars in repairs you will never pay for. And keep number 6 in your back pocket, because it is the reason renters, people who own nothing at all, are owed this money too, and almost none of them believe it. Number 3, the senior freeze that locks your bill in place. New Jersey calls it the senior freeze, and it does something no other program does. It freezes the amount you pay, so that when your property taxes rise, the state reimburses you the difference. Homeowners 65 and older who meet the income limit get that increase paid back, year after year. Consider a homeowner whose tax bill climbs $300 a year. Over 10 years, a freeze can be worth $3,000 or more, money that otherwise vanishes into rising bills. But here is the part almost nobody knows. Renters get money from New Jersey too, and the income limit for renters is generous, up to $150,000 of gross income. Senior and disabled renters can receive up to $450 back on the property taxes baked into their rent. The mechanic is enrollment. Once you are in a freeze program, you have to reapply each year to hold your frozen base year. Skip a year, and your base resets to the higher amount. You lose the very savings you spent years building. The mistake I see over and over is a senior who qualified, got approved once, and then stopped filing because nothing changed. everything changed. Their taxes went up, and they simply stopped collecting the refund. So the action step: if you are in New Jersey, confirm your senior freeze reapplication is filed for this year. If you are in another state, ask your tax office whether they offer a senior freeze or an assessment freeze. Many do, and it can save you far more over 10 years than any one-time check. Number 4. The circuit breaker credit for renters and owners on a fixed income. Missouri calls it the property tax credit, but the nickname across the country is the circuit breaker because it kicks in when your housing costs get too high relative to your income, just like an electrical breaker. In Missouri, renters with income under $27,200 single or $29,200 married can claim up to $750. Homeowners can claim up to $1,100. A renter living on $1,200 a month in Social Security often assumes none of this applies to them. It applies most of all to them. More than 20 states run a circuit breaker credit like this. The whole design is to protect people on Social Security and fixed pensions from being taxed out of their homes. The mechanic that matters: it is a credit, and in most states you claim it on a specific form when you file, even if your income is so low that you are not required to file a tax return at all. That is the trap. Here is the mistake that quietly costs seniors hundreds every year. They do not file a return because they don't owe anything, so they never claim the credit, and you cannot get a credit you never file for. Thousands of eligible seniors leave this money sitting on the table for exactly that reason. So the action step is to look up your state's circuit breaker or property tax credit form and file it this year even if you owe zero in tax. Filing is the only way the refund reaches you. Number 5. The income rule that means you probably qualify even if you think you don't. This is the single most misunderstood rule in every one of these programs, and it is why people who deserve the money talk themselves right out of applying. When your state calculates whether your income is under the limit, most of these programs count only half of your Social Security. Read that again: half. In Pennsylvania, only 50% of your Social Security counts toward that $48,000 cap. Here is what that means in real numbers. Say you receive $24,000 a year in Social Security and another $15,000 from a small pension. You do the math in your head, get $39,000 and assume you are right at the edge. But the program only counts $12,000 of that Social Security, so your countable income is $27,000, nowhere near the limit. You qualify comfortably, and you never knew it. The mistake is doing that math in your head with the wrong number and never applying at all. I cannot tell you how many seniors say I make too much when they make no such thing. The programs are written this way on purpose, to reach people living mostly on Social Security, and that is most retirees in this country. So before you decide you earn too much for any program in this video, find the actual income worksheet and count only half of your Social Security. That one correction moves millions of seniors from denied in their own mind to approved on paper. Number 6. The one nearly everyone gets backwards. Renters are owed this money too. Here it is. When most seniors hear property tax relief or housing law, they think that is for homeowners. I rent. None of this is for me. And that single belief costs renters more than any other mistake in this entire video. Every program we covered pays renters, not just owners. Pennsylvania pays renters up to $1,000. New Jersey pays senior renters up to $450. Missouri pays renters up to $750. Maryland runs a renters tax credit worth up to $1,000. The logic is simple, and it is written straight into the law. Your landlord pays property tax, and they pass that cost through to you in your rent. So when the state refunds property tax, they refund your share of it too. The mechanic renters miss is proof of rent. You need your address, the months you rented, and the total rent you paid, and sometimes a signed rent certificate from your landlord. Gather that before you apply, and the whole thing takes about 20 minutes. The mistake is heartbreaking in how common it is. A renter on a fixed income, who needs this money more than almost anyone, throws away the letter because they are certain it is only for people who own a home. It is not. It never was. Here is the truth nobody at these agencies will call to tell you. The benefits are real, the deadlines are hard, and the money only moves when you file. So you're one step this week. Pick your state, find the rebate form, and request it before the December 31st deadlines close. If this could help you or someone you love, subscribe and share it with your family. Someone out there needs to hear it in time.